The Geek Vape Aegis Solo Kit. The Geek Vape Aegis Solo Kit was sent to me for review from heavengifts.com. The kit comes with both the Aegis Solo mod and a Cerberus sub-ohm tank. The Solo is a newer compact version of the hugely popular original Aegis device. I never owned an Aegis, but I actually have the dual battery Aegis Legend, and I think it's one of the best devices that I've ever owned. I love it. But anyway, let's talk about this kit. So it comes in the colors of orange, blue, black, green, red, and gunmetal. It's 128.9 millimeters tall, 41.2 millimeters wide, and 31.5 millimeters in depth. It's a single 18650 battery device, battery not included, handles 5 watts to 100 watts. It runs between 200 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 to 315 Celsius, and you get it for $64 from heavengifts.com. In the box you get the Aegis Solo mod, a Cerberus sub-ohm tank with a 5.5 millimeter bubble glass pre-installed, a spare regular glass tube which is 4 milliliters, spare parts for the tank, one Super Mesh X2 coil, a user manual, and a USB cable. All right, let's talk about the Cerberus tank. So I've already reviewed the Geek Vape Cerberus tank, so I'm not going to do an in-depth look here, but I'll quickly go through my overall thoughts. So this is a 27 millimeter tank with a 5.5 mil e-liquid capacity with the pre-installed bubble glass, or 4 mil capacity with the spare straight glass tank. It has top fill and uses mesh coils. The Cerberus originally came with Super Mesh X1 coils, which was rated to go up to a max of 90 watts. The flavor production from those coils is some of the best that I've ever had from a mesh tank. The Aegis Solo Kit comes with these new Super Mesh X2 coils, which are designed for much lower wattages, and this is perfect for the Aegis Solo, since the device is only a single battery device. So the X2 coils are 0.3 ohm and rated best between 30 and 40 watts. The airflow is a little turbulent, but you get a lot of airflow through this if you like it wide open. So that's the quick version of this tank, but if you want to see my full review of the Cerberus tank, I'll put a link in the description. The short version, I loved it. All right, let's talk about the Aegis Solo device. So personally, I think the Solo looks really cool. I like the style of all the Aegis devices. The black case with the rubber grip and color accents just looks nice. On the top you have the sealed 510 connector. On the front of the Solo is the firing button, which has a nice strong click to it. Below that is the display screen, and that's nice and bright. And then the function buttons, which lets you adjust the settings. And those also have a nice feel to them. On the side is the USB port, which has a rubber plug to prevent water from getting in there. And that USB lets you charge the device or update the firmware. The original Aegis was just slightly bigger than the new Solo, but it weighed twice as much. The Solo weighs only 112.5 grams, so it's pretty light. The Aegis Solo uses what Geek Vape says is the latest version of the AS100 chipset. They say it has a high level of accuracy, stable power, and faster response time. And just like the other Aegis devices, they're not kidding. It fires almost immediately. It's one of the fastest firing devices that I've ever used. The screen displays the mode that you're in, the wattage or temperature that it's set at, the battery life, the resistance of your atomizer, how many amps you're pulling from the battery while it's firing, the voltage you're set at, and how many puffs you've taken. So a lot of stuff there. To access the menu, you press the firing button 3 times. And of course you have wattage mode. Works like you'd expect. It goes in 1 watt increments when you hold the button down, but goes in 0.01 watt increments when you click it individual times. There's bypass mode if you want this to work like a mech mod, but you still have the safety features of a regulated device. Temperature control has presets to support stainless steel, Ni200, and titanium wire, but you also have the ability to use TCR mode, which lets you set it to any wire that you want if you know what to set it at. There are tables out there telling you what numbers to set it at if you need to look it up. And you can also lock your resistance in TC mode, which is something that you always want to do when the atomizer is at room temperature. You also have custom curves, which lets you specify the wattage or temperature for every second of your vape. And the last option in the menu is to reset your puff counter. There are also some features not found in the menus. If you press and hold the up and down setting buttons at the same time, it'll lock the device so that you can't change settings, but you can still fire it. If you press and hold the fire button and up or down, you can adjust the screen brightness. And of course you have safety features, 10-second cutoff protection, short circuit protection, overcharging and discharging protection, overheating protection, overcurrent protection, and anti-dry protection, which is temp control. So yeah, all of the safety features that you would want. Nothing new, but nothing missing, so that's good. So like the other Aegis devices, the Solo is also waterproof and shockproof with IP67 protection. The 6 rating means that it has the best protection against solids, so it's protected from contact with harmful dust. The 7 rating isn't the best is 8, but that means that the Solo can be fully immersed in up to a meter or 3.3 feet of water for up to 30 minutes. You probably don't want to risk ruining the device by constantly dunking it into water, but if you get it wet in the rain, or if you accidentally drop it in a sink or a toilet or something, it should still work. It's also worth noting that the water resistance of any electronic device can wear off over time, and also the water resistance ratings are strictly for water, not things like beer or soda, so your results might vary. As for the Aegis Solo's shock resistance, I'm not really sure what that rating is. I can't find it anywhere. The Geek Vape site only says that it's shockproof. The original Aegis had military standard 810G shockproof rating, so I'm assuming that they've done the same thing here, but I don't know for sure. All right, now for batteries, the original Aegis was a single battery device that took 18650, 2700, and 21700 batteries. To make this new Aegis Solo smaller, they had to reduce the overall size, which means that it now only takes 18650 batteries. To prevent water from getting inside the device, the battery compartment has this heavy-duty cover that requires that you to unscrew it. Just pull out the lever and you can turn it pretty easily. Then you just drop the battery down into the device with the positive end going in first and the negative end touching the battery cap. Just about everything about the Aegis Solo kit is good. The only con that I can think of is that it only supports 18650 batteries, and I know that a lot of people really like their 21700 batteries these days, but other than that, it's a great kit. This was sent to me for a review from heavengifts.com, and you can get it from them for $64. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.